It looks like that long-awaited ground invasion of Gaza might finally be coming now. Right now we're seeing an escalation of things. There's an increase in bombing in northern Gaza, and most striking of all, Gaza has now gone dark. Israel has apparently imposed a complete blackout on Gaza. That means no more internet and phone services. So what's going on here? Let's see. So the bombardment of the Gaza Strip has intensified and mobile communication services collapsed. And the Israeli military says it is expanding its operations in Gaza. Previously, in the last few days, there were many ground raids. Are there more of these now? Let's see.
So please guys, if you can hear us, send that message to the world that we are isolated now in Gaza. Again guys, if you can hear us, we are isolated in the territory. We don't have any phone signals. We don't have any internet connections. We found a great difficulty even to communicate and contact with our relatives in different parts of the territory. Even we don't know what is the situation on the ground in different areas of the strip. We just only hear bombardment. We don't have any kind of access of communication to anyone. Everyone now is really terrified and afraid.
Even the local radio stations are intercepted by the Israeli spokespersons and the Israeli Arab spokespersons who keep telling or keep sending warnings to the people. The Israeli airstrikes continue in the south and in the north of Gaza, but now we can even hear it from the central area where I'm staying now, heavy and intensive airstrikes hitting the north and east of Gaza City and of the Gaza Strip as well.
So these bombing and strikes are now the only light or sound that the residents of Gaza are receiving. So anyway, if the full-scale ground invasion ever comes, it will be a huge disaster. There is no way Israel can avoid causing unmitigated suffering and loss for the 2.3 civilians in this tiny strip of land. This basically a massive refugee camp. What's already happening, that's also quite serious. I mean, for many days now, the Gazans have been suffering, and apparently it's got to the point that sewage has started flowing onto the streets. There is no electricity, no gas, no water. Many people are going hungry. Now with this collapse of telecommunication, Gazans now will not be able to know what's going on, and in the hospitals there will be no ability to have telemedicine. That means that you can't have them going on video and asking for medical advice or directions from a doctor far away. And of course, worst of all will be for the child casualties, for children make up half of the population of Gaza. The children have been suffering in many ways, and most harrowing is the fate of those at the beginning of their lives, because now Gaza is no longer a place for pregnant women to give birth. In particular, as it says here, fuel is of paramount importance for the operation of essential facilities such as hospitals, desalination plants, and water pumping stations. Neonatal intensive care units house over 100 newborns, some of whom are in incubators and rely on mechanical ventilation, making an uninterrupted power supply a matter of life and death. So that's what's already been happening. with no power, and now there's no communication either, which might make the situation much worse. And as it says down here, the footage of children being rescued from beneath the rubble, the injured and in distress, while trembling in hospitals as they await treatment, portrays the immense horror these children are enduring. But without humanitarian access, the deaths from attacks will be the tip of the iceberg. The death toll will increase exponentially if incubators start to fail, if hospitals go dark, if children continue to drink unsafe water and have no access to medicine when they get sick. And this is exactly what is happening now, and it's only getting worse. And the longer this goes on, the worse things will be, because we're going to have, we already must have had a lot of births happen in the last several weeks that this war has been going on, and there will be many more births in the days ahead if this war continues for weeks and months without stopping, and people will continue to have to drink from unsafe sources of water, and that will mean the spread of diseases. And without even any power, any light, the time will soon come when machinery like incubators, they cannot keep going on. And now Palestinians cannot even report on what's happening in the Gaza, where they are, because of the blackout that's happening, that's no doubt imposed by Israel on Gaza, perhaps in preparation for a ground operation. That means without being able to know what's going on in Gaza, that gives more leeway for Israel to do what it wants, like take actions that cause more civilian casualties. Basically, what Israel has been doing for weeks now is a death sentence for the most vulnerable, people who rely on incubators in hospitals. Healthcare system in Gaza, they're already collapsing, and it's only a matter of time before they completely go down and stop functioning. And combined with the casualties, that means massive humanitarian losses, a massive death toll. This is almost a massacre that is happening. And what we need most of all is for information to continue to flow, for light to continue shining on what's happening there. We cannot let Gaza go into the dark, because then we never know what might happen. All sorts of horrors we will allow to happen if we let Gaza go out of our sight. Let's just pray that this ground operation does not happen, no ground invasion is launched, because there is no way that things will turn out well in such a situation. Now the fate of Gaza hangs in the balance. Let's just hope that the ceasefire happens as soon as possible, and that this whole war just ends, and all parties stop the violence.